What up? 大家好，我是唢呐 and welcome back to 坏机车。这一台终于被修好了。
What took you so long?
What took you so long?
So let's get into it with some news and some elevated English terms. So today's story is brought to you by the word commiseration. Commiseration, which is a noun, basically means when someone goes through something extremely difficult, and as a result, they can finally understand or sympathize with someone else who's been through the same thing. Basically, they understand that struggle is real. Now keep this bit in mind as I present to you today's example sentence, which will make your English sound 高级 as fa. After being shit on by my boss all week, I suddenly felt a deep sense of commiseration for my commode. And with that, I bring you today's story of female suffering. Monthly, that is. In Japan, 男生好像不太懂女生的困扰哦. In Japan, they have a law that mandates women be able to take menstrual leave. But because menstrual leave is often unpaid, many female employees choose to suffer through it in the name of keeping a healthy bank account. So, in the hopes of nurturing a more understanding and empathetic environment in a male-dominated workplace, Japanese researchers at a university partnered with a young startup to create Perionoid.
You serious?
Yes, I'm serious. So these researchers found several professional working male volunteers to strap in this device which simulates the female menstrual cycle by issuing cramps. And the result?
まっすぐ立ってられない感じ。
もう動けなかったですね。もうすごく痛くて、もう立ってられないっていう感じでした。はい。実際に疑似体験して、すごいなんか毎月女性ではこういう痛みと戦って、お仕事されたりとかしているのかなと思うと、すごい女性逆にすごいなと尊敬いたしました。はい。
So, remember our word commiseration? Let's try to use it in a sentence in context to this situation. Putting on the Perionoid for a few minutes, I instantly felt a feeling of commiseration for my female colleagues' monthly pain and suffering. Yeah, I'll take your word for it, bruh. 我很好奇，你们台湾男生会对这个 device 有什么看法？ Now, this next story is sponsored by the word fallacy.
Such a dirty boy.
That's fallacy with an F. 不要想歪哦. Now, a fallacy is basically a mistaken belief that people accept as truth. It's like holding an idea in your mind that doesn't really make sense and isn't really accurate, but it makes logical sense to you, so you keep it around. So with that, allow me to give you a playful sentence that touches on both spellings of the word. The fallacy of the BBC disappears once I pull down my pants. And that brings us to today's story where young Americans are in some serious financial trouble. As a study recently revealed that more than 50% of Gen Zers aged 21 to 27 are receiving financial support from their parents.
他们家长应该补助1个月几百块而已吧。
Nah, bruh, we're talking 1,500块美金 per month minimum, which is a huge increase compared to millennials who at the same age only received about $900 a month in financial support. But isn't the American economy back on track and stronger than ever? Apparently not all, as Gen Zers' 3 biggest complaints, 房价太高啊，学费太高啊，他妈的我的保险费太贵耶。So, taking our new word fallacy as a lesson, in this sentence, the fallacy of Americans having money quickly disappears when they show you their bank account. So this next story is brought to you in part by the very sophisticated word mendacity. Mendacity means the ongoing process of dishonesty, lies, and deceit. And the act of mendacity can mean lying directly, leaving out important details, or even twisting facts.
Nobody else is gonna say it.
Let me give you an example sentence. When it comes to boys, mendacity often involves boasting about logic, money, and most important of all, their size. So most people know that in today's economy, 找工作很难呢. So maybe that's why in a recent survey, over 70% of people admitted to lying on their resumes. Not only that, but a third of these people admitted to lying on a regular basis.
People exaggerating skills or just straight up lying. And it'll be things like saying you worked at a place longer than you did, or you're giving yourself a title that you never even had, or maybe saying you have a skill that you don't.
But here's the kicker. All those people who lied have masters and PhDs, yo. Well, apparently, possessing a higher level of education enables you to be better at peddling bullshit. as the study goes on to reveal that over 90% of applicants lied on their cover letters, yo. Now, before you go getting all smug about those elites with higher education, those of you with 4-year college degrees are lying your asses off too, but only at a rate of 71% and only 30% of the time.
If you really are wanting a specific role but it doesn't require education, yet you've lied on your resume and says you have that education, even if it's not required for the role and they find out that you're lying, they're automatically going to disqualify you.
So what are these bosses, CEOs, and companies doing about it? They're going after people who may not have a college degree, but definitely have experience. And for those people who do have degrees, they're automatically sus and are subject to very extensive background checks. So it seems like having that fancy piece of paper is not all it's cracked up to be. Oh, and there's one more thing that study revealed as well. Turns out people on the other side, hiring people, are lying as well. Over 20% of hiring managers are lying about job responsibilities and even the opportunities for advancement once they get hired. So when it comes to honesty, it seems it is very quickly going the way of email. Obsolete. Which brings us to our example sentence for this situation. In today's world, the more educated you are, the better you are at committing gross acts of mendacity.
It's true.
And in entertainment news, today's story is brought to you by the word abstinence.
啊，唢呐 ，abstinence 不是跟约炮有关系吗？
That would be a fallacy, yo.
See what I did there?
See what you did there.
Because in general, the word abstinence means to restrict or control your desire from something. For example, when people ask me, 唢呐，你有女朋友吗? I usually reply with, oh no, I am currently practicing involuntary abstinence. Thank you very much.
Ah, jeez. Why can't I get laid?
That is definitely not the case with famous singer Bruno Mars, because my man has a very bad gambling problem. Like, really bad. So a while back, Bruno Mars signed a residency contract with the very famous Vegas casino MGM. And in return, they would give him a place to stay, they give him food, oh yeah, and $90 million a year.
Jesus Christ.
Now, I know most of you know that American taxes can be brutal. So after all the deductions, Bruno Mars takes home about $60 million, which is still a pretty decent deal. But here's where the problem lies. While he was doing his residency, he very quickly became the casino's #1 gambling customer, owing them $50 million in poker losses. Good God, man. But I guess we can't be too surprised. I mean, Bruno Mars has repeatedly shared his story about how before he became a singer, he used to pay his bills by playing poker at the casino. But regardless, according to reports, Bruno Mars is under a lot of pressure because apparently there's a financial responsibility clause in his contract with MGM, which many people suspect was the source of his very public beef with his production and singing partner, Anderson .Paak, which got so bad that these guys pulled their Grammy nomination from last year's award show as a result of both of them fighting over,
Wait for it. 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 Wait for it.
money. Which leads us to today's example sentence, which dually serves as some advice for Bruno Mars. I suggest you invest your money in some gambling abstinence programs rather than playing poker at the casino. So that about does it for today's episode. I encourage you guys to take these new terms and share your own sentences in the comments. The best one I just might pin to the top. And also, let me know which stories you found the most interesting and you like the best. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you on the flip side. Peace!